Let me challenge the young people in our nation and tell you why many people don't have doors. They come to you, usually once you are blessed, you have this plethora of relatives who are waiting, angrily entitled, believing that you owe them, and then people just come in, uncle, how are you? And they just bounce around, and they are seeing people queuing. Your uncle is their CEO and they are respecting the person, and you just bounce in and come in, how are you? And uncle, anything for the boys. And he looks at you and just manages it, gives you something and tells his PA, any day you see this boy coming, make sure you don't open the door again. Why? Because you communicated dishonor. I shared with you, okay, I'm not sure I've shared it here in Abuja, a very true story. I went for a conference years ago and a man of God shared that story. Let me use it to wrap up this subject of honor, so we'll move to the next point. True story. This man was seated, he was a pastor of a church, and God was using him mightily. True story. But back at home, things were not working well, especially financially. Things were a bit rough, and yet he would sit down and the wife would sit down and they would hear testimonies of marvelous things that God was doing, changing the lives of people, and people would clap. But that man sat down there and there was fire on the mountain in his own house. One time during a service like this, the wife just got up and walked out of the meeting. The man was done, finished his counseling and ran back home. My wife, what happened? Did I offend you? Did I say something during the message? She didn't say anything. And then he sat at table to eat, and he noticed that the plates that she was using to serve him, you know, those women have those holy of holies plates that only come out when there's a triumphant entry. So that praise the Lord. Now watch this. She brought those plates and served him, and he kept asking, what happened? Did I offend you? We can talk about this. She didn't say anything. Finally, when she brought the last item, kept it on the table, she got down on her knees and she said, servant of God, my home is in trouble. Suddenly the man said the same anointing he used to feel in the church came upon him on that dining table, and he laid hands, not on the wife, that grace. Do you know? Because every time he was at home, he was a husband. So the anointing for priesthood did not find expression to bring breakthrough. The woman was now wise and saying, you are my husband, but you are also a man of God. Today is not my husband I'm feeding. I'm tired of feeding my husband and receiving compassion. I need results. So let me honor that. Let me tell you this. Listen, everybody you see is multidimensional. The dimension you honor is the dimension that delivers to you. Your father can be a prophet and he can be blessing the nations and never see anything for your life. Your CEO can have a powerful signature that has decided the prosperity of institutions, and yet you can be seated there and no door opens. He that receives a prophet in the name as touching the office of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward.